This is Insight Radio, and my name is Shofu Babalola, and you are now listening to your number one online radio station. The light you need on Insight Radio.
Paris is grappling with a bedbug infestation just 10 months ahead of the Paris 2024 Summer Olympics. The issue began in hotels and rental apartments over the summer, but bedbugs have now been spotted in movie theaters, high-speed trains, and the Paris metro. Passengers have shared videos on social media, causing alarm. Parisian pest control companies are overwhelmed, with treatment costs at around $500 per home. Now, what exactly are bedbugs? Bedbugs are small, almost the size of an apple seed, about 4 to 5 millimeters in length, reddish-brown insects that feed on the blood of humans and animals. They are nocturnal pests, expert hiders known for their ability to hide in cracks and crevices such as mattresses, box springs, bed frames, cracks in walls and furniture, electrical outlets, and even in luggage or clothing during the day, and emerge at night to feed. They are particularly skilled at concealing themselves during the day. Bedbugs feed exclusively on blood, and their bites can cause itchy red welts on the skin. They are attracted to the carbon dioxide and body heat emitted by their hosts. While they can feed on any exposed skin, they tend to target areas of the body where skin is thinner, such as the face, neck, arms, and legs. Bedbugs reproduce rapidly. A single female can lay hundreds of eggs in her lifetime. Eggs are tiny, whitish, and difficult to see with the naked eye. After hatching, nymphs, which are young bedbugs, go through several stages of development before becoming adults. While bedbugs are not known to transmit diseases, their bites can cause discomfort, itching, and sometimes allergic reactions. Scratching bites can lead to secondary skin infections. Bedbug infestations can occur in homes, hotels, hostels, and other places where people live or stay. They can be introduced through infested clothing, luggage, or furniture, making them a problem for travelers. Controlling bedbug infestations usually requires professional pest control services. This may involve the use of pesticides, heat treatment, or a combination of methods. Thorough cleaning, vacuuming, and laundering of infested items are also important components of treatment. To prevent bedbug infestations, it is essential to inspect and thoroughly clean or launder items brought into your home after travel. Be cautious when acquiring used furniture or clothing. Regularly inspect and clean sleeping areas and be vigilant for signs of bedbugs such as dark fecal spots or shed skins. Bedbug infestations can be challenging to eradicate once established, so early detection and professional intervention are crucial for effective control. Follow Insight Radio for more educative insight. Insight Radio, the light you need.
All right. Good afternoon, good evening. What part of the world you are listening to me from? My name is Shofu Babalola, and if you know what time is it right now, whatever state, whatever city, whatever country that you are listening to me from, maybe you're watching directly on IG directly, or you're watching me directly, or listening to me directly from Insight Radio, the light you need. Today is going to be an amazing time and quite very, very interactive. I'm super energetic about the topic of discussion tonight. We are going to be looking at a major situation here in this part of the world, and it's a particular city that we're going to be using as a case study, and there is an emergency call in that particular city. Now, the voice you listened to earlier on was an intro topic into the bedbug situation in Paris, and also a brief introduction about the major causes of bedbugs and where bedbugs can literally be found. So tonight, like I said, we would be looking into the aspect of bedbugs and why exactly do we have such an high infestation of bedbugs in this part of this world, or in this part of this state, or the city rather. It's a city. Why exactly we have this strong high infestation in that city? And the city I'm talking about is no other than Paris. Paris, the capital of France. Right. There is a latest publication that came out from the agency, the media health agency in Paris, that talked about the high infestation of bedbugs there. And I did a little bit research there, not a little bit, quite a number of back and forth research in that city, and I discovered that there is a lot of factors that can cause this high infestation. There are a lot of factors that can cause this high infestation of bedbugs. And for people who are listening on our IG live directly on SB Fumigation on IG, there are some questions that come up to us directly from SB Fumigation Service, and they're only saying, why exactly do insecticides keeps the bedbugs number increasing? Insecticides are meant to, get rid of bedbugs, but the insecticides are doing the total opposite. What exactly do I mean by that? It means that some of these insecticides, this bedbug species, maybe the tropical bedbugs, maybe the common bedbugs. I'm not sure if you know that there are different type of bedbugs. All you care about is the bedbugs. You just want to get rid of them, but there are different types. And I used to say something that every pest have different treatment method. That's something we need to hold on to. And I'm going to just hold on to that, and I'm going to talk about all those things, right? So if this is your first time of joining on Insight Radio, the chat box is there. Go directly to the chat box and sign in with your name. And if you're watching directly on IG, let us know the part of the world that you are watching us from. What part of the state, what part of the city, what part of the country are you listening to Insight Radio from? Let's talk about it. Tonight is it's going to be a wonderful time and quite an interactive one. First thing first, before I jumped into the show tonight, I started with a poll. I launched a poll. I launched the poll out there today, and the poll was actually, let me read it out loud. So I said, what factors do you believe might have led to the high level of bedbug infestation in Paris? Could it be attributed to 1, ignorance, 2, carelessness, 3, inadequate information, and 4, insecticide resistance, then 5, inadequacies of pest control services in that particular state, in that particular city rather, in Paris. And quite a number of people came up with lot of feedbacks, but fortunately we have high level of people who chose. Let's see. So this is 4 plus 3 plus 4. We had high level of people who chose carelessness, and some other people chose inadequate information. Inadequate information, I think, is a general term for a lot of things. It's a general term for quite a number of things. And 8 people chose ignorance, and we have 2 people choose insecticide resistance. But let me also say, that the inadequate information is also being played out here, because the inadequate information is as a result of insecticide resistance. Hold on to that again. Like I said, tonight we're going to be diving into a lot of things, and I just need you to get your jotter, get your pen, sign into the chat box. Let's interact, because we have couple of things to talk about. Okay, so now let's dive in. Let's start. When Paris has this infestation, there are 2 major things that we need to take out. 2 major things that we need to critically look into. Number 1, it is stated by the agency that published the news. It is stated by the agency that published the news. That's let me get the name of the agency. ANES, the French Health and Safety Agency. Yes. So it is stated by them that this infestation level, or this bedbug infestation, has started since 2017. It means that they've been having this issue since 2017 to about 2022. According to their data, it is stated that over, if you count 1 to 10 apartments or 1 to 10 households, at least one of those 10 households, right, will be having a very, very high level of bed bugs. Will be having bedbug infestation. Will have bedbug infestation rather. So now, in that case, that has helped us to understand that every apartment, there's possibility that almost every apartment in Paris, remember I said 1 to 10, 1/10 of every household has bedbug infestation. So it means that every possible household has quite a number of, infestation of bed bugs. Now, why exactly do this infestation keeps increasing? Is it that they don't have pest control operators? Is it that there is no treatment method that has been applied? Or what exactly have these guys done to be able to solve this problem? Now, it is also stated that this Paris is considered as the world most visited city. Hold on to that. World most visited city. And it's very important to note that bed bugs work with humans. Now you can see how the dots are connecting. Number one, Paris is considered as the world most visited city. It means that people are coming in and going out every single time. Again, it is stated by that agency that this part of the world, which is Paris, has over a lot of tourist center. And the infestation level that they are talking about right now was actually after the Fashion Week. They just concluded Fashion Week in Paris. So it means that there was a visitation by some set of people or some travelers who came into the city. Hold on to that again. Now, these people that came into Paris, and also based on their own data, they said at least 44 million people visit Paris. At least because of they're actually a tourist center, according to the French health and safety agency. Right? So now, let's now look at all these things. Number one, it's 2017 to about 2023. That's over roughly about over 5 years. Or about 5 years, rather. So now, if they have that kind of years of infestation using insecticide to solve the problem. Now, I've gone through so many videos on YouTube, quite a number of videos, even from top media houses, that started publications. I discovered that not a single video have any pest control operator using its treatment or using steamers to get rid of bed bugs. All I can find are the videos, probably those videos are not even the real videos from them, I don't know. But according to what I was seeing, not all those videos rather do not have pest control operators using steamers or other treatment method. They were basically using insecticides. So now that brings me into this aspect of insecticide resistance. But also, before I also conclude that it's actually insecticide resistance, the agency also said something. Let me read it exactly the way they said it. The agency said, ANES reports that the upsurge in bedbug infestation in recent years has been due to, in particular, rise in travel. Remember, Paris is considered the world most visited city, number one. And two, and the increasing resistance of bed bugs to insecticides. It is very important that, this also answers a lot of questions that I get. In fact, most people that reach out to me or probably any other pest control operator that's currently listening, if you're in that kind of situation now, you can also let me know, right? Just let me know in the chat box directly on Inside Radio. Most people are always, they result into pest control operators after DIYs. After they've tried DIYs, after they've tried using different insecticides, even the common insecticides that after they've tried using all those common insecticides, right? So, because of this regular use of insecticides, people tend to forget that there is something that is called insecticide resistance or chemical resistance in general. This insect have one particular feature, and that feature is the fact that they gain resistance to insecticides or pesticides easily when applied. And now, I'm not saying just a particular part of an insecticide. I'm saying that the class of insecticide. Now, for people who are watching, who are pest control operators or probably homeowners out there, it's important. Some things might look like jargons, might look like too much words, might look like grammar to you. But it's very important that you understand these things. When you're going to get a pest control operator to come into your apartment to deal with any pest infestation in your apartment, ask questions. Ask critical questions. And questions like, what type of insecticide are you using? If they don't want to tell you the type of insecticides, which they won't tell you, right? It is important that you know the type of the active ingredient of the insecticide, right? So let's say, for instance, people are used to, the common products. I don't want to mention names, but these common insecticides that people are used to have a very, very strong, have a very strong ability for bed bugs or any insects to gain resistance over. They are DDVP, they're dichlorophos, right? And insects gain resistance to dichlorophos, DDVP active ingredients easily. Organophosphate, class of insecticides, right? They gain resistance to it a lot, even faster than any other insecticides. So it makes it really, really very hard for any pest. It makes it much more easier, rather, for every pest to gain resistance to it, and it becomes very hard to eradicate. Take, for instance, now, if a particular bed bug has gained resistance to a particular insecticide, let me tell you. So let me explain in detail. Let's take, for instance, you are used to a particular aspect of an insecticide, a particular insecticide. Now you use this, there's this common insecticide that everybody's always using. I don't want to mention names, right? So now you are using it every single time. The first time you saw bedbug, you applied it, they died. And after 2 weeks, you're still seeing another bedbug. Do you know that particular bedbug is one of the most deadliest bedbug ever? Do you know that particular bedbug that missed the first treatment is the most deadliest and the hardest to deal with? Because number one, it has gained resistance to that particular active ingredient. And with that space of time, they must have fed on your own blood, because if they don't feed on you, you would not even notice them. You would not notice them. So now, you've noticed them already, right? You've noticed the bedbug already. It now becomes very, 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 very easy for you to spot. And because it becomes very easy for you to spot this bedbug, right, you can be able to identify, I can still see some signs. Then you carry that same insecticide again. You carry it and apply it again in that same room. Remember, that particular bedbug that saw that you applied insecticide on has escaped it because the skeleton has gained resistance to it. In entomology, it is called corticular resistance. There are different mechanisms involved in chemical resistance for bedbugs, right? There are different mechanisms, and it's very important that we understand these things. So that's why this particular topic, I'm going live directly to my own customers and my own audience, so that we understand how and why these insecticides never works, why they don't even work, right? So now that particular species of the bedbug rather has gotten resistance to that particular insecticide. So at that point, it becomes very hard. The shell, the cortical, which is the skin, becomes very hard to absorb that insecticide the next time you apply it. But like I said, within that 2 weeks or 3 weeks space or 4 weeks gap, this bedbug has fed on your skin, and when they mate, especially when it's a female, when it's feed on your skin and they mate, then it starts to give birth. New generations start to arise. And when new generations start to arise, have you forgotten your genetics? That particular aspect of this particular insect, which is bedbug, the genetics are being transferred into other species. So it means that any other one that comes out after that treatment or during that process has gotten that ability of resistance inside. Let me now shock you. there is an aspect of resistance that is called metabolic resistance. Do you know that bedbugs have this ability based on metabolism to detoxify pesticides when applied? Some people will be shocked and be like, what's going on here? You see, the type of insecticide or the type of product that is being applied determines the results that you're going to be getting. So when you apply insecticides, sometimes you're making the situation worse rather than making the situation much more easier. So now, you now take that same particular insecticide and spray it on the bug, not knowing that it has gained resistance to it. So it becomes very strong. The cortical, the skin becomes very strong. It's just like when you're beating a very stubborn child. The stubborn child would one day, there's this saying that it's going to duff your, or just look, like nothing. It's not. It can't be just pouring water on the bedbug. You get, that's the logic there. So because this insect has gained resistance to it, it transferred that same genetics into other species, other newborn species. In that case, there's only called susceptible bedbugs, and the ones that means susceptible ones, those are the ones that when you apply it, it dies immediately, right? So it's important to understand the mechanisms of this bedbug, of insecticide resistance. So when you understand these mechanisms, it makes it more easier for you to solve the problem. When we're talking about resistance, we have behavioral resistance, but this has to do with some other pests, maybe not bedbugs. Bedbugs don't have, German roaches have behavioral resistance, right? It means that they get resistance to the insecticides or the bait based on their behavioral patterns, how they behave, their locations, their hideouts, their demographics, like that. That's what I can say. So that's quite very different. But now, in the case of bedbugs, they have this corticular resistance mechanism. Their skin become very, very strong because they have this waxy, very, very strong cortical. So it becomes very hard for insecticides to gain penetration, to penetrate inside of it. Right? So this very, very, very important. So most people have been wondering why exactly this insecticide ever works. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It won't. My dear, it's not going to work. So you must have been applying. Some people will even come. They'll give you dust. They'll give you liquid form. They'll give you dust form. They'll give different. It's important to also note that formulations, the type of formulation of the insecticide also has an ability on this insect, which is bedbug. So if you are using dust, there is a capacity of how dust can work with bedbug. There is also a capacity of how aerosols. Most people just go and carry aerosols. Aerosols will not even give you results. Aerosols like not. So you must have carried these common fleets, your household fleets, and spray in your apartment, and you think it's going to kill bedbug. Bang. It's not. So it's not going to work. So for that reason, it is very, very, very important to understand what mechanism, what treatment method, what type of chemical am I using, what class of insecticides am I using. So that's why when we are dealing with bedbugs, we use different treatment methods. When I started, I talked about how Paris, the videos I've watched in Paris, I barely even see anyone that is actually even using heat or using steamers at the highest most or the lowest one, or even using other treatment method, maybe vacuums. Most of them are just going in there with their knapsack sprayer, with their motorized sprayer, with their ULV, and just spray chemicals everywhere, and they think it's going to die. No, it's not. So it's very important to alternate your treatment method. And bedbugs is hard. When I mean it's hard, it means that it's a must that you do what we call a follow-up treatment. a follow-up treatment. That means the treatments that needs to be done 24 hours. 7 to 10 days, or maybe sometimes 14 days interval after the first treatment. You need to do another treatment again, right? So when you're looking at all these things, I've talked about resistance. Resistance is a key major determinant in controlling bedbugs. If you don't understand what we call resistance, it becomes a problem. Then we also have what we call incorrect dilution. Must have been the cases of Paris. Must have been the case of Paris, right? Some pesticides have, all pesticides have what we call a label, and in the label it is stated the amount, the mixing ratio, the ratio to mix maybe water to the active ingredients of the insecticide, right? Or oil to, based on the EC, based on the formulation rather. So it's also very important to understand the formulation, the dilution method, the treatment pattern, what you need to do, best reporting strategy, right? So when you do all those things, it make it much more very, very easy, to control bed bugs, right? So whatever state, whatever city, whatever country that you are listening to me from, all I need you to do right now is go straight down to the chat box, sign in with your name. In fact, we were meant to actually take phone calls. We can take phone calls here, take phone calls. Let us talk about it. Why exactly do bed bugs keep coming into the apartment even after applying series of insecticides? So let's quickly go straight down and listen to this wonderful message from our Inside Radio. Thank you.
Paris is grappling with the bedbug infestation just 10 months ahead of the Paris 2024 Summer Olympics. The issue began in hotels and rental apartments over the summer, but bedbugs have now been spotted in movie theaters, high-speed trains, and the Paris metro. Passengers have shared videos on social media, causing alarm. Parisian pest control companies are overwhelmed, with treatment costs at around $500 per home. Now, what exactly are bedbugs? Bedbugs are small, almost the size of an apple seed, about 4 to 5 millimeters in length, reddish-brown insects that feed on the blood of humans and animals. They are nocturnal pests, expert hiders known for their ability to hide in cracks and crevices such as mattresses, box springs, bed frames, cracks in walls and furniture, electrical outlets, and even in luggage or clothing during the day, and emerge at night to feed. They are particularly skilled at concealing themselves during the day. Bedbugs feed exclusively on blood, and their bites can cause itchy red welts on the skin. They are attracted to the carbon dioxide and body heat emitted by their hosts. While they can feed on any exposed skin, they tend to target areas of the body where skin is thinner, such as the face, neck, arms, and legs. Bedbugs reproduce rapidly. A single female can lay hundreds of eggs in her lifetime. Eggs are tiny, whitish, and difficult to see with the naked eye. After hatching, nymphs, which are young bedbugs, go through several stages of development before becoming adults. While bedbugs are not known to transmit diseases, their bites can cause discomfort, itching, and sometimes allergic reactions. Scratching bites can lead to secondary skin infections. Bedbug infestations can occur in homes, hotels, hostels, and other places where people live or stay. They can be introduced through infested clothing, luggage, or furniture, making them a problem for travelers. Controlling bedbug infestations usually requires professional pest control services. This may involve the use of pesticides, heat treatment, or a combination of methods. Thorough cleaning, vacuuming, and laundering of infested items are also important components of treatment. To prevent bedbug infestations, it is essential to inspect and thoroughly clean or launder items brought into your home after travel. Be cautious when acquiring used furniture or clothing. Regularly inspect and clean sleeping areas and be vigilant for signs of bedbugs such as dark fecal spots or shed skins. Bedbug infestations can be challenging to eradicate once established, so early detection and professional intervention are crucial for effective control. Follow Insight Radio for more educative insight. Insight Radio, the light you need.
Alright, welcome back again to the Pest Experience show. My name is Shofu Babalola. If you're just joining directly and you've been wondering who exactly is this guy that has been spitting a lot of fire right here, right now, we have people joining on our IG. We have Immobile Pest Control. We also have the Sofa Cleaners Abuja on IG directly. So if you want to see me directly in the studio on Inside Radio, all you need to do is go straight down to our IG at SP Fumigation _service, and you can be able to join me live on IG. Right, so tonight we've been talking about the level of infestation in Paris, how it happened, what exactly is happening, what has been done or what has been done to get rid of this bedbug. I've talked about the latest publication from them and what exactly was applied. What exactly is the major cause? I talked about the poll that I placed out. So we also have Ami Su directly, my regular listener. Thank you very much for joining on the Pest Experience show tonight. All right, the ritual now. Just sign in with your chat, sign in with your chat box, and let us know what part of the world that you are joining from. We also have Mr. Kai Eyitu Yoho. Sorry, I'm not sure if I got that pronounced correctly. So this is the time where you call in on the show. We've been talking about the bedbug infestation in Paris. What exactly is the major causes of this infestation level? Why exactly do we have this high infestation? So the phone lines to call in tonight is 091. Get your phones ready. It's a time to share your own experience. If you have a very, quite experience, so let me say bad experience, or if you have an experience with bedbug, maybe as a pest control operator, maybe as a homeowner, as a facility manager, let us talk about it. All right, I'll be glad to share it about it. This pest experience, so we literally need to talk, right? Okay, so the phone lines to call in is 09169671279. 0916927 sorry 09169671279. 09169671279. That's the phone lines to call in directly to the studio. And let's know, if you have an experience, if you want to talk about the bedbug infestation in Paris, you have one or two contributions. Trust me, if we come up with a resolution tonight, we can email that to them. Like I said in my voice when I shared it to all the groups, we can come up with a resolution. We can send it down there, put in your name, put in your comments, and probably you can also be invited to help them solve the infestation. No one can tell. You can also have the government of France also listening, because it was actually passed to them that we're going to be having a show tonight. So it's an opportunity, to share your thoughts, your experience, your recommendations, your suggestion directly. So the phone lines is 091 6967 1279. 091 6967 1279. That's the phone lines to call in into the studio tonight. Let me drop that on the chat box also for people who are just joining. 091 6967 1279. All right, so let's dive into it. If you're also signed in the chat box, what exactly do you think is the major cause of infestation, high level of infestation in Paris? Is it due to carelessness? Is it due to insecticide resistance, as they assumed? Is it due to a lack of information or inadequate information down there? Or is it due to, ignorance of the homeowners? Because it started about 5 years ago and the infection level keeps coming. What exactly are your own thoughts about it? If you are joined on IG, you're not left out. Let's know what you think. What's your recommendation? What's your suggestion? What do you have to say on this matter? I gave an experience about, my own audience that sometimes they call in and tell you insecticides, I've tried different insecticides and it never worked. Damn it, it's not going to work. It's not. When I started the whole show before I went on the quick break, I talked about the fact that insecticide, I broke it down why those insecticides would not work. Right? But people are just joining. One major reason why the insecticide will not work is based on what we call the insecticide resistance. There are mechanisms that are involved in insecticide resistance. Number one, behavioral resistance. We have the cortical resistance. We also have what we call the metabolic resistance. right? But in bedbugs, you hardly see what we call the behavioral resistance. You see more of the cortical resistance. You see more of the metabolic resistance. You see more of the target site resistance. Remember, there's something called target site resistance. Let me give a brief discussion on that. On the target site resistance. You know, when insecticide, most especially pyrethroids are mostly used for bed bugs. In fact, pyrethroids kill bed bugs on it. There's something called KDR, knockdown. When you spray pyrethroids on bed bugs, oh my goodness, that's the perfect solution. It knocks them down as fast as possible. But do you know that these pyrethroids these insects gain resistance to pyrethroids a lot. And when you're talking about pyrethroids, they are in different formats. You have the cyphotrin, you have the tetrametrin, all those trains, they are all pyrethroids. Now, do you remember that all these insecticides are under pyrethroids? The trains, like the cyphotrin, the tetrametrins, they're under pyrethroids. And they've gained resistance over pyrethroids. So it means that some classes of this particular insect, or insecticide rather, would not work when applied. Okay? Now, let's look at the target site. Pyrethroids have this ability to knock down bed bugs based on their nervous system. So, pyrethroids work directly to the sodium ion in the cortical, which is the body, which is the skin. Human beings too, we have this sodium ion in our skin, right? There's this. I don't want to go too far. Okay, I don't want to go too far into that aspect of that discussion, but it's going to be like too grammatical. So I don't want to do these technical words, right? But don't let us go there, right? But when this particular insecticide gets to their skin, right? When it gets to their skin, it become very, it knocks them down with time. It kills that particular ion in the skin. So that's what we call target sites, because that's where the pesticide is meant to act on. The target sites, that's where it's meant to act on. So when they are sprayed that particular insecticide on it, that target site would not work. Right? That target site would not work because it has gained resistance to that particular pyrethroid. I remember pyrethroids have this ability to attack the skin. Okay? So these are the major reasons why you have a very high resistance in bedbugs. Remember, target site, which is the nervous system. So if the nervous system cannot absorb the chemicals again, then what else? If the nervous system cannot absorb again, then it's just like as if you're pouring water on the skin of bedbugs. So most people don't understand these things. They don't get it. That's why they just get any counter product. And there is something that was, in fact, when I was deliberating on the topic in my head, it's just the way pharmacy works. That's the same way it happens in the industry. The insecticides that you can get over the counter, like over the counter drugs, right, are mostly agrochemicals. And agrochemicals have a residual efficacy of 7 days. It means that they are meant to be used on farm first, and 2, they are meant to last on all those farm surfaces for less than 7 days. So it means that when you apply them, their residual ability or their residual capacity would not last more than 7 days. So it means that after 7 days, pure water. It means that after 7 days, nothing is going to work. Nothing is going to work. So for that reason, there is a lot of things to understand when you are dealing with bedbugs. Okay, so now when you are dealing with bedbugs or dealing with any pest, it is very, very important that the type of insecticide that will be used are residual products. And residual products are public health pesticides. Oh, I don't know if you understand this. Okay, residual products who has a very good residual efficacy, residual property are public health. And the funniest thing is that public health products cannot be found over the counter. So public health products, find them as over the counter products. Number one, they are expensive. Number two, they are scarce. They are rare. So most people resort into the use of agrochemicals. And agrochemicals like organophosphates, in fact, based on research, right, organophosphates, carbamates, organochlorates, the DDT of the olden days, right, the DDT that you know of the olden days, this ability of the cuticular resistance, oh god, more than any other pesticides. Even the common insecticide that you use, or that I get people who tell me that I've been having issues with bedbugs and every single thing, that they use this particular insecticide. The active ingredients in that insecticide, go and read the label. The active ingredients in that insecticide is nothing more than DDVP. You will see it stated there, dichlorovos, LROVOS or something. You will see it stated there. Go and check it now. Go and check it. So DDVP, the organophosphate, they have very, 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 in fact, they gain resistance to them a lot. So when you apply insecticide on them, it's not going to work. Right. So now I've been talking about resistance. I've been talking about the issues with the Paris and what exactly is not working. But now, what exactly would work? Okay, for people who are joining on IG, for people who are joining on the chat box, Inside Radio, for people who are listening wherever other platforms. Okay, so we also have people. Someone just asked do I do trainings for bedbug treatment? All right, so my trainings for bedbug treatment are personal trainings. Personal trainings. So these are trainings that I deal with the people directly. So if you're interested in the training, someone just sent a DM. If you're interested in the training, all you need to do is call the phone number 070-8442-1068. If you're interested in a personal discussion, a personal training, or personal recommendation, so let's talk about it. 070-8442 is the phone line to call in. 1068. Yep. So that's the phone lines to call. So now let's go back. What exactly would work when dealing with bedbugs? In the first time, before we go on a quick break, I talked about alternating the treatment method. Right? First, when you're alternating the treatment method, it means that you're using different treatment methods, not just one. And because of the reason that you're using not just one, it means that you are applying other methods like heat, steamers, vacuums, dust. Also, change the active ingredients of the insecticides or the pesticides. It is very, very important. So you can't be using organophosphates and come back again and start using organophosphate again. Try and change it to something like a pyrrose. Try and change it to a carbamate. Try and change it to a pyrethroid. Right? For homeowners out there, you might not understand these things, but pest control operators that are listening to the show on Inside Radio would understand me very well. And as homeowner, it is very, very important that you ask questions. What type of, in fact, when you ask a pest control operator, if you come to my DM and ask me what type of active ingredient, then I'm very sure that you have been following me. That you have been following me. You come to my DM and ask me what type of active ingredient of insecticides are you going to be using, even though we're going to be using insecticides. What's the active ingredient of the insecticide that we're going to be using, right? So that's very, very important to understand. Okay, so the type of the active ingredients is very important. Alternate the active ingredients first, and secondly, use heat, steamers, vacuums. The non-chemical methods, 100%, use them. Why waste so much effort on something that would not even work, right? Or something that would at some point gain resistance if you have other possible solutions out there that you can use. And because you have other solutions, right? Because you have other solutions, why then stick to a particular method? So use a different treatment method entirely, totally different. So when you use different treatment method, it gives you a very good result, right? So if you are tuned in directly on Insight Radio, let us know what exactly are the treatment method that you have been using. If you're just joining, use the chat box. Sign in with your name on the chat box, the name, where you're listening to us from, what part of the world. You just need to sign in with your name and click on the play button, and you can listen to me very well, loud and clear. What treatment method would you recommend? And if you want to join the conversation via phone call, the phone lines to call in is 091 6967 1279. We're still taking phone calls. Ahuta Amisu, I'm expecting your phone call. Vivian, I'm expecting your phone call. Let's talk about it. What are the treatment method that you have applied before and probably you've not gotten a result? As a pest control operator, what have you done? You know, as a homeowner, what have you done? This is PestXperience, and let's, talk about it. I don't want to go out of hand before calling you. Okay. I just got a message on my IG now. Somebody said it's bedbug. I don't want it to get out of hand. That's why before calling. You see, this is what exactly we're talking about. Most people get this level of infestation. They get to a very high level of infestation before they start acting. Very high level of infestation before they start acting. So it's very important that we understand what we call proactive treatment. It's very important that we understand what we call a proactive treatment method rather than reactive. Rather than being reactive. Okay? Proactive treatment method will give you very good results rather than being what? Reactive. Alright. So I think people who are joining on IG must have like technical connection glitches there. I think it's just going off and on. Alright, let's see.
This is Insight Radio, and my name is Shofu Babalola, and you are now This is Insight Radio, and my name is Shofu Babalola, and you are now listening to your number one online radio station. The light you need on Insight Radio.
Paris is grappling with a bedbug infestation just 10 months ahead of the Paris 2024 Summer Olympics. The issue began in hotels and rental apartments over the summer, but bedbugs have now been spotted in movie theaters, high-speed trains, and the Paris metro. Passengers have shared videos on social media, causing alarm. Parisian pest control companies are overwhelmed. with treatment costs at around $500 per home. Now, what exactly are bedbugs? Bedbugs are small, almost the size of an apple seed, about 4 to 5 millimeters in length, reddish-brown insects that feed on the blood of humans and animals. They are nocturnal pests, expert hiders known for their ability to hide in cracks and crevices such as mattresses, box springs, bed frames, cracks in walls and furniture, electrical outlets, and even in luggage or clothing during the day, and emerge at night to feed. They are particularly skilled at concealing themselves during the day. Bedbugs feed exclusively on blood, and their bites can cause itchy red welts on the skin. They are attracted to the carbon dioxide and body heat emitted by their hosts. While they can feed on any exposed skin, they tend to target areas of the body where skin is thinner, such as the face, neck, arms, and legs. Bedbugs reproduce rapidly. A single female can lay hundreds of eggs in her lifetime. Eggs are tiny, whitish, and difficult to see with the naked eye. After hatching, nymphs, which are young bedbugs, go through several stages of development before becoming adults. While bedbugs are not known to transmit diseases, their bites can cause discomfort, itching, and sometimes allergic reactions. Scratching bites can lead to secondary skin infections. Bedbug infestations can occur in homes, hotels, hostels, and other places where people live or stay. They can be introduced through infested clothing, luggage, or furniture, making them a problem for travelers. Controlling bedbug infestations usually requires professional pest control services. This may involve the use of pesticides, heat treatment, or a combination of methods. Thorough cleaning, vacuuming, and laundering of infested items are also important components of treatment. To prevent bedbug infestations, it is essential to inspect and thoroughly clean or launder items brought into your home after travel. Be cautious when acquiring used furniture or clothing. Regularly inspect and clean sleeping areas and be vigilant for signs of bedbugs such as dark fecal spots or shed skins. Bedbug infestations can be challenging to eradicate once established, so early detection and professional intervention are crucial for effective control. Follow Insight Radio for more educative insight. Insight Radio, the light you need.
Wonderful time, as you have heard it. Follow Insight Radio for more educative insights. Insight Radio, the light you need. You know, we've been talking about some amazing stuff that has to do with bedbug control and the level of physician in Paris. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for taking your time, to join the conversation tonight. At least, you listened and you paid attention to the conversation.
Smartwatch! Yay! Oh my goodness! Thank you for joining. Smartwatch! Yay! Oh my goodness! Thank you for joining. Smartwatch! Yay! Oh my goodness! Thank you for joining. Smartwatch! Yay! Oh my goodness! Thank you for joining. Smartwatch! Thank you very much. Thank you for joining.
Wonderful time out here. We all need to sit down and learn, unlearn, and relearn. There is so much to understand. There is so much to do, and as the situation is right now, we are the light you need. All right. So we've talked about so many things. Trust me, this recording of this particular show tonight will be out there, and it explains why exactly the infection level in Paris increased so much. Right, this is something you need to re-listen to if you are just joining. Right, this is something you don't want to miss out from or miss out any word of insight from. All right, so like I said, thank you very much for joining on the show tonight. It's a wonderful time. I thank you everybody who participated in the poll. Thank you very much. I really can't count names because a lot of people participated. In fact, people are still voting on the major cause. Ignorance is leading over so many platforms. Thank you very much. Inadequate information, and based on inadequate information, I think that's even a very good one, because if you have enough information, insecticide resistance wouldn't have been the issue. Wouldn't have been the major issue in Paris, right? So inadequate information is like 100%. So we have somebody also dropping a comments on WhatsApp. Favor dropped in the comments. She said lack of information, and I told her, I may explain to her. So she said because how can you be suffering from infestation for years and there is no solution? So she said inadequate information is a major concern there. Right. So thank you very much once again. My name is Shofu Babalola, SB for short. And thank you again for joining the wonderful episode of the PestXperience show. I'll see you same time, 7 to 8 p.m. next week. Please invite a friend. This is the time to talk about it. And next week, trust me, I'm going to bring up a guest on the show tonight. On the PestXperience show. All right. So have a wonderful day. See you. Happy New Week.